welcome to Monkey Broadcast, our monthly review discussion show with me, the Jelly Monkey.
And me, Sven the Crusader, your trusty sidekick.
Hooray! And here we are in the month of April. It's an April shower song.
Or in my case, April snow song. Seriously, it's snowing outside my window.
Oh wow, I mean, we've had thunderstorms out here, but nothing to that extent.
Yeah, if you know where I live, you know that it has two seasons, winter and July.
Well, enough idle conversation about the weather, it's time to move on to...
Q&A!
This is nice and simple. This is where we provide answers to questions sent to us by our fans and subscribers. If you'd like us to answer your questions, please send them to us by YouTube PMs or leave a comment in this video. We have only the one question this month, but it comes from Trainman666, and he asks,
aside from the terrible glitches of Superman 64, Sonic 06, and Spyro 4 Enter the Dragon, what are some of the worst glitches you have encountered in video games? For example, a glitch from one of your favourite games that ruins your experience for a short time.
It certainly didn't ruin my experience with the game, but I point you once again to my Might Magic 7 story. Do not own the screwdrivers.
Yeah, that didn't exactly ruin the game as it did beef everyone up.
Well, it may have ruined the game in the sense that it made it just pissing easy.
Yeah, I guess that's true. In terms of glitches, I can't really think of ones that ruined the game. I mean, part of me is tempted to be really obvious and say missing number, or as I used to call it, missing no from the Pokemon games, the very early Game Boy ones. But
yeah, I never played those, so I was never on the receiving end of missing no.
You were lucky. I made the dumb mistake of catching it, and that ended up completely corrupting my game files.
Ouch.
Yeah, although to be fair, I was planning to restart the game file anyway, so I just figured, well, doing it anyway, might as well see what it's like.
Well, just so long as you were able to play the game again.
Yeah, there's also a great cure known as Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Good old modern generation games with their programming.
I can't think of that many glitches I've had. The only other glitches I can think of which kind of make the game irritating is in Sonic Adventures 2. And, well, let's just say you'll see them in future installments of the Talk Room.
Oh, this I look forward to.
Yeah, true story. After I decided not to go for rank A, I thought I'd at least do every single level with one run, as in not die throughout it. There is only one level where I break this rule, and it is solely due to horrendous glitches.
Wow. And that reminds me, I do have a general umbrella category of glitches, and I'm going to sum them up with a quote that some of you might know. My horse appears to be lodged in a wall.
Oh yeah, Red Dead Redemption.
Yes. Ergo, the only game that has ever managed to make my main character fall into the falling mechanic, and then into the sliding mechanic, and never stop. So, in other words, John Marston was literally falling down a cliff that didn't exist for an hour straight.
Oh wow.
Yes, he was on the ground, and he was still sliding. Like by tiniest fraction of a centimeter per minute. But the game still counted it as sliding, so he never got up. Ever.
Yeah. I've been lucky, I've never had a glitch that bad. There have been, apart from that one level I said, there have just been the occasional weird instances where either something happens that's a mild inconvenience or just hilariously funny. Like, there was one glitch I did in Ocarina of Time where, basically, I took Epona into this area, like the Gerudo training gallery. I got off her, and I can't remember why I got off her, but I got off her and I did the Sanson to make time pass, so that it goes from night to day. Now, in order to explain this, in the area, the Gerudo horseback archery, that area is empty at night, but when it gets to morning, it is packed, and so when I went back to retrieve Epona a little later, I found that Epona had somehow merged with another horse, which was normally standing at that spot.
My horse appears to be lodged in a horse.
There was two horses merged into one hideous abomination.
That reminds me of another quote of Red Dead Redemption. Flickering in and out of a parallel universe wherein men have merged with horses.
There's only one single time I can think of where a glitch absolutely destroyed a game for me, and it was when I decided to be really, really, really cheap and buy a copy of Sacred Stones off eBay that was under 10 quid, and I'm suspecting it was a pirated copy. I don't know.
Yeah, given glitches, I'm kind of leaning toward that myself. I can't really explain why.
Yeah. Basically, the glitch was, it was the third level, the one where, oh god, I'm trying to remember her name. The Archer and Crom, the thief.
Calm.
Oh yeah, Colm and I forget her name. But anyway, the Archer, you're also getting that level as infatuated with Colm. She's supposed to come with you at the start of the level so that she can teach you about how to use archers by firing through a wall. In this glitch, she didn't appear, neither did Rosso Garcia, and for some reason the cursor was forever forcing itself to the right-hand side of the screen, and refused to move.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's the only time I can think of offhand where a glitch has actually stopped me from playing the game. Otherwise, it's just been a mild inconvenience.
Oh, that reminds me of another glitch. This just snowballs. Going back to Might and Magic, is anyone surprised? Might and Magic 9. Ergo, the game that they should have just put on the back shelf until they finished a better game so they didn't go bankrupt.
Ah.
Yeah, I blame this game for causing 3D's fault. Anyway, I played through this game, and I reached the very, very end of it. And at the very end of this game, there was a mirror puzzle, where you had to turn mirrors so that a beam of light shot through every one of them, across the room, and into an opposing mirror on the other side. One of the mirrors refused to reflect.
Oh.
In other words, entire save file gone.
Oh.
Yes, and this is a game that takes at least 60 hours to get that far.
Ouch.
Needless to say, I, along with my dad, moved back to Might and Magic 7 for a very, very long time.
After that, I can't say I blame you.
Yeah, it was the simplest thing ever. Mirror refused to reflect, game completely screwed.
Oh. Yeah, that is very, very harsh. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. The only time I found glitches is when I get really cheap on eBay, and the only time Sven finds glitches is when he enters Might and Magic 9.
Actually, whenever I enter the series in general, because again, Might and Magic 7 story, screwdrivers.
I'm not sure whether to count that as the story of a glitch or the story of one man and an all-powerful screwdriver, anyway.
That could make a very good story prompt. Ignore me!
And on that bizarre image, we conclude the Q&A session, and we now move into...
Television!
As the title implies, this is where we review everything we've watched on TV recently. Or rather, what I've been watching, since Sven doesn't have much to review this month. Or rather, what I've been watching on Crunchyroll. This is a series that, in past recordings, or at least in past Skype chats, I forget which, they all blur into one, that I've hinted about watching, but even so, I'm pretty nervous to say the title because, what the hell. I've been watching Bodacious Space Pirates. There.
Giggity. Anyway.
I'm gonna say that again. I have been watching a show named Bodacious Space Pirates.
Giggity. Also, he mentioned this to me before, so this doesn't really come as much of a surprise to me.
Yeah. Bodacious Space Pirates is an anime. I don't know if you caught on to that, but it is.
Just from the title alone, you can tell it came from Japan.
Although apparently the original light novels the anime is based on were called Miniskirt Pirates or something like that, which...
Which actually sounds quite a lot less questionable.
This is the premise according to the Crunchyroll streaming website itself.
Maniko Kato is a freshman in high school who lives on the planet known as Sea of the Morning Star.
That's a very snappy title, by the way.
Also, freshman in high school. Just insert basic anime premise here.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Actually, I'll just give the full phrasing it has on the synopsis here. It lives on a planet seeing the morning star somewhere in space, as opposed to somewhere in the void of nothingness.
Somewhere in the mental nebula of the combined consciousness of man.
I'm tempted to say it almost sounds like a metal lyric, but knowing my luck, there probably is one.
I can already tell you what band it sounds like it's from.
Oh dear. Anyway, back to synopsis.
One day, she is told that her father, who she thought was dead, was actually alive until just a while ago, and he was the captain of the space pirate ship Benten Maru. She also finds out they need her, his heir, to be captain so that they can keep flying. Mariko begins a new life as a high school girl and as the captain of the pirate ship Benten Maru.
That's only just scratching the surface, but it serves as a basic one.
I'm guessing it's insane.
Kind of. But before we can get off, this show is actually surprising in a lot of ways, because... okay, right from the start, you can tell this show's going to be special. It has a...
Yeah, special.
Yeah, because not only it doesn't have the crazy title, but it begins with... Well, its opening consists of pirate metal, let's just...
Oh god, Hailstorm. Nerdgasm.
Japanese pirate metal, I should say, which is kind of, raises a lot of strange questions, but anyway. You can probably just tell, from the silly title and just watching the opening, that it's going to be like this very silly, high-octane action-adventure. And to that, I can only say...
Stop! Do not approach this show. You are going with it to the wrong expectations. Turn back now whilst you still can.
The reason I say this is because, bizarrely enough, despite a title which makes it sound like it's going to have storytelling on par with that 70s Flash Gordon movie, it is actually a well thought out character piece.
What?
Yeah, I was surprised too, because, first off, pretty much everyone that looks normal, except for some people looking vaguely cute, that's about it. And, there is also literally no fan service. The closest it ever gets to it is like people occasionally wearing different costumes. Like at the start, Marika works in a maid cafe, which sounds silly, but the show doesn't try and sex it up in any way. It just treats it like she's working at McDonald's. It's just like a job she does to pay the bills. That's about it.
Wow, Japan, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, it's just really strange. And but actually, there's also one scene from, I think it was Liam last week's. Yeah, I forgot to mention this show is actually still airing in Japan. Last week's episode, there's actually one scene which is, again, the first thing I've seen in a while in this show that vaguely counts as fan service, where Mariko and a friend of hers go in disguise around this port, and it's basically like this kind of flashy business suit type thing, but one of the first things she says when she comes out of the changing room is, "This skirt is ridiculously short, why can't I wear pants with this thing?"
I like this character already.